Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday, September 7th, 2016. So 9/7/16. Today, we're going to be working on finishing our multiplication packets that I handed out yesterday. So if you do not already have those out, go ahead and get those out. Remember, those are the packets I told you we would do in class and not at home for homework. Go ahead and turn to the second page. Your second page should be multiplying mixed numbers and fractions. We're going to do the first couple together, and then you're going to do the rest on your own and finish those in class. And if you have any questions, please raise your hand and I will be over to help you. So let's start with number 1. We have 6 as our whole number and then 6/10 times 8/12. Okay. So when you're working with a mixed number and a fraction and you're multiplying them together, we have to make sure that this mixed number goes into an improper fraction. And all an improper fraction is just saying that the number on top, so the numerator, is larger than the denominator, which is the bottom number. And how we do that is we have to multiply 6 times 10, and then we have to add 6 to that. And that will never change. So when you're making a mixed number into an improper fraction, you will always multiply the whole number by the denominator and then add the numerator on top. So when we do 6 times 10, we get 60, plus 6, we get 66. So that's our new numerator. And then our denominator, the 10 just stays the same. So we just bring that down. And then we multiply that by 8/12 still. We don't have to change that one. Okay. And then now I'm going to show you a way that can cut off a lot of simplifying your answer over and over again. And that's looking at your diagonals. So let's look at our diagonals and see if they both share a common number that goes into both of them. So we have 8 and we have 10. And if I think to myself, okay, well, 8 and 10 go into 2, and then can 8 and 10 go into another number? And that answer would be no. Okay, so then I'm going to divide 8 divided by 2, and that gives me 4. So if I did 8 divided by 2, this number now is 4. And then if I have to, whatever I do to my diagonal, I have to do to the other diagonal. So 10 divided by 2, and this new number is 5. Okay, so then those are my two new numbers from that diagonal. And then I look at 12 and 66. And then I think to myself, what goes into 12 and 66? What number goes into both of them? And you could do 2. But then if we do 3, let's try 3 and see if that goes in. So 66 divided by 3, that gives us 22. So 3 goes into 66. And then we know that 3 goes into 12. So that would be our option. So we're going to divide 12 divided by 3. And that would give our new number as 4. And then if we divided 66 by 3, okay, so 66 divided by 3, that would give us 22. Okay, so then my new fractions would look like 22 over 5 multiplied by 4 over 4. Okay, and then you can look at this again and see your diagonals and see if you can, if one goes in, they share a common multiple, if one goes into the other. So we look at 4 and 22. 5 and 4, they will not go into each other. And a number does not share 5 and 4. So those are finished. So then we look at 4 and 22. Well, I know that 4 and 22 both go into 2. So if we divide 4 divided by 2, that gives our new number as 2. And then 22 divided by 2, that would be 11. So then we would have 11 over 5 times 4 over 2. And I can't simplify those anymore, so I just took 2 steps to simplify diagonally. So I took about 2 extra steps off if we would have just done it straight across. Okay, so then once I get them both simplified down to where I can't go any further, I'm going to multiply across. So 11 times 4 gives me 44. And then 5 times 2 gives me 10. Okay? And then I know that we can simplify this fraction, this improper fraction. So 44 and 10, they both go into 2. So 2 divided by 44. See what we get. 44 divided by 2. That would be 22 for your numerator. And then if we divide the bottom, because whatever you do the numerator, you have to do the denominator when you're working with fractions. So whatever you do to the top, you have to do to the bottom. So 2 divided into 10 would give us 5. Okay? And then that would be my answer. But when you're working with mixed numbers, I want you to change it back into, if you have an improper fraction, to a mixed number. So how we would do that once we got our answer and it was simplified all the way down, we would just do 22 divided by 5. So if we know that 5 times 4 gives us 20, so that it goes in 4 whole times without going over, and then we have a remainder of 2. So now we can change our improper fraction back to a mixed number. So we know we have 4 wholes, so that's going to be our whole number. We have 2 left over, so that's going to be our numerator. Whatever's left over goes on top. And then 5 will just carry over and stay the same as our denominator. So then my final answer would be 4 wholes and 2/5. So that is the answer you should have got for number 1. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to go to another page and let's do number 2. And we'll do number 2 the actual way, which we are just multiplying straight across. So for number 2 on your packet, you would do 5 1/4 times 5 over 8. Okay, so our first step is just like we said. So 5 times 4 is 20 plus 1 is 21. We have to change it into an improper fraction. Our denominator stays the same, times 5 over 8. Well, this one looks a little bit simpler because 5 and 4, they already are simplified, and 8 and 21, we don't have to work very hard with, so we're just going to multiply straight across. So 21 times 5 gives us 105. So this is the other way to do it, is just multiplying it straight across after you get your mixed number to an improper fraction. And then 4 times 8, which is just 32. So now I have to think which number goes into 105 and 32. Okay? And I can't think of any numbers because, I mean, 2 goes into it, but then it won't go into 105. And then 105 goes into 105, but it won't go into 32 evenly. So when I get that and it can't go into either, that means I'm simplified as low as I can go. So then all I have left to do is divide. So 32 into 105. So 32 times 4 gives us 128, so that would be over. So if we did 32 times 3, would give us 96. So that's right under without going over. So then when you subtract 105 minus 96, you should get 9 as what's left over. So remember, just like in the last one, this would be our whole number. Whatever's left over is our numerator, and then our denominator just carries down. So then your answer for number 2 would be 3 wholes and then 9 over 32. Because you have to change it back to a mixed number for your answer. So then that would be your answer. So go ahead and do 3 through 10 on that page. And once again, if you have any questions, please raise your hand and I'll be happy to help you.